Hello everyone. Today I'll be talking about my project, which is on a new business model and strategy for big tech companies. And when I mean big tech companies, I mean the Facebooks of the world, the Apple of the world, the Amazon and the Googles of the world. Before I get into my project, I want to talk about the approach I've taken towards devising my project. So my project vision is towards making technologies more humane and for us to approach towards the mission of digital wellness, which is to have a healthier relationship with tech. So first, I did a current state analysis. I did a lot of primary interviews with a lot of experts out there. I did a lot of secondary research. So this was part of the current state analysis to understand the current models, the current problems with our tech usage in general. Then the second point was to look at it outside in view, to understand what is being done in the market currently. What are some leading humane technology practices? What are some leading digital wellness technologies which are out there, which we can look at incorporating? Then based on current state analysis, the problems that I found out, and what are the leading practices, I devised a future state roadmap in which I talked about initiatives which we could take and a roadmap or framework as to how we can approach towards a humane tech or a digital wellness future. And the primary data sources were through interviews I conducted or through the secondary research which I had done. So this was the broad approach I took towards the project. A question before I move and to prompt a reflection to all of you. How many of you have checked your phone's technology till now or in the last 30 minutes? So I'm sure a lot of you would say yes to this question. And the reason why I'm asking this reflection question is the fact that we are all distracted by our technology. So the concept that I want to talk about, which the current tech companies are leveraging, is this concept of attention economy. The more time that you spend on a product, the more revenue that they earn. And they don't have the essential well-being of the end user in mind, essentially. And this was why I asked this reflection question. And the point is, from my current state analysis, I've devised a model called Me, We, Us, which talks about how technology affects me, the people around me, and the broader society in general. To give you a couple of examples, me is our productivity, our attention. We're not able to focus on a particular task, right? I asked you that reflection question, and I'm sure a lot of you would have said yes to that question. And the point is we're not able to focus on a particular task at hand. And another example could be, it affects our physical and mental health as well. We're spending a lot of time online now because they're focusing on our attention, and that affects our physical health. Like, for example, if I'm on my phone for a long time, it affects my neck, essentially. The second point is how it affects us. So an example could be, if I'm talking to someone in person and I put up my phone while talking to them, this is a phenomenon called phubbing. I'm snubbing someone with my phone, essentially, and this affects the quality of relationship that I have. So this is the concept of we. The third concept is us, how it affects the broader society in general. So the point is that it does not create shared reality. Let me give an example to explain. If I'm following a lot of left-wing content, I'll get polarized. I'll get that kind of content on my feed only. And that is the perspective I'll be only getting. And hence I'll be biased towards that perspective. And my friend is following right-wing content, he'll be getting that kind of content. So the point is, he'll get biased towards that, and we won't be able to have shared realities, and it would cause polarization, essentially. So this is how the way we are using text affects me, the people around me, and the broader society in general. And this is really harmful. And this is in turn related to the attention economy sense. This is caused by attention economy. But there is not always bad news. There is some good news as well. Tech companies are taking some steps towards humane technology. For example, if you look at Google, they have come up with something called digital wellness, and they encourage people to do time well spent instead of just time spent on their apps. And through these digital wellbeing tools, you can have a much more balanced relationship with your tech. You can manage your screen time much better. So if you look at Google digital wellbeing tools, they are very, very powerful tools, essentially. Then even Meta, or Facebook for that matter, has done a lot of steps. For example, they've hidden like count, essentially, in which it relieves the social pressure of the likes that are there. I don't see the number of likes on my post. I only see that Rijul and others have liked this. So that social kind of pressure kind of falls off. And this is really powerful. Another example could be Microsoft. They've come up with this tool called Viva Insights, which is a digital wellness and productivity tool. And essentially, it's a very powerful tool. It lets me know, am I focusing or not? In which meetings am I multitasking? Am I feeling, how many times am I working outside office hours? Am I getting burnt out, etc.? So it's a very, very powerful tool, essentially. So the point is that there are a lot of initiatives which are being done, and which is good news towards humane technology. And from this, I've come to the conclusion that we need to move more towards this humane tech future. And the point is that it needs to be a systemic revolution. all the stakeholders involved, from citizens to students to educators to technologists to policymakers, investors, need to take some steps towards this humane tech future. And this is the framework that we need to take. For example, investors need to invest money in humane tech policies or humane tech technologies or humane tech startups. Or policymakers need to make policies related to humane tech itself. They need to incorporate these aspects in the policy itself. Educators need to go ahead and advocate for these technologies to end users. Citizens need to take control and understand what kind of humane tech are there, and they need to adopt that. So it needs to be a systemic approach. That's the point. And every stakeholder needs to do some steps. And there are a lot of steps out there. So if I give you an example from a tech company, so there is this concept of resharing posts. So if Facebook or Meta, it is backed by their internal research as well, if they disable the share button, like people need to copy and share it again, then the likelihood of fake news kind of reduces a lot. And it is backed by internal Facebook research as well. So there are a lot of steps which tech companies can take, as you've seen in outside view, and as I've talked about with Facebook or Meta reshare button, there are these steps which they could take essentially. And this is very powerful towards a much more humane tech future. But the point is, I talked about a systemic change. This is for a tech company, but you can also take control as a citizen. So if you're feeling very, very distracted, there is something called Forest app, in which you sow a seed and that seed grows into a plant essentially. And let's say I want to focus for 20 minutes. I put on this app for 20 minutes and that seed would grow into a plant. But if during that time I open some other app, that seed would essentially kill, or that plant would kill. I'm responsible for killing a plant. So it's one of the biggest productivity apps out there, and it has helped a lot of people manage their focus much better. Second example is, a lot of us struggle with social media feeds, right? Through that endless social media feed. So there are a lot of humane tech kind of extensions out there. There's something called To Do Book, which essentially blocks your feed and asks your intention before opening your feed. And even after you surpass this step, it only gives you 5 minutes to go through your feed. So making you more intentional about your tech use. Another example could be a little bit more extreme. The colors which are there are meant to kind of hook us. The red color is meant to, of notifications, meant to hook us. So my phone is actually black and white, in which the rewards are much lesser. So if the colors are not there, how long can you use your tech, right? So for example, I use this when I'm on social media. If I'm trying to scroll, it's black and white. How long can I spend or watching a reel on black and white, right? So if I summarize my whole kind of talk today or my whole kind of project, the point is that digital world is shaping us right now, with them wanting our attention, with them polarizing us. But the point is, digital tools are very, very powerful. But we need to make it humane for us and to make it work for us, so that we are able to shape the digital world instead of the digital world shaping us. Thank you for your time. And I really look forward to your questions and discussions. Thank you.